Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Boomer Bust Podcast. I'm your host, Shoot Durock, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Matt and JJ. How we doing today, fellas?
Doing good. Happy Wednesday night, everybody. This video should be out by, I'm assuming, Thursday for all of you fans watching. Doing well, though. Doing well. It was a good wild card weekend.
Hey, man, I'm just surprised about the consistency.
Yes, sir. We are back.
Excited, man.
2 weeks in a row. It's been a while since we've done it, but we did do it because we promised you guys. And you guys showed up, supported us last video, so we appreciate it. So, we're moving on here now. Divisional weekend here in the NFL playoffs. But first, let's recap how last week went. Matt, I'm kind of surprised you said your week was good because you went 1-5 in your picks last week. Your only correct pick being the Buffalo Bills, who we all had, but you were on the Browns, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Eagles, who all lost.
The Dolphins. I was on the Dolphins.
Oh, the Dolphins. My apologies. Yeah, you're on the Dolphins. JJ got off to a hot start.
He's just a Tua Glazer.
He is a Tua Glazer. JJ, you got off to a hot start, 2-0 on Saturday, being the only one taking the Texans. Me and you were both right with the Chiefs. Then Sunday, a tough 0-2. And then as well on Monday, Monday you were 1-1. You were 1-1 on Monday, so you finished the weekend 3-3.
It was never the Cowboys, man.
It was always the Steelers, though. That's for sure.
I didn't even pick the Steelers. don't come at me with that.
You came at me, brother.
I picked against my team.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked that you both did, honestly.
They made it a game for a second there. I mean, we'll get to the games. We'll get to the games in a second, but. And then I am the leader in the clubhouse, currently 4-2. Got the first game wrong. Went with the Browns. Texans pulled out. But then Chiefs was right. Cowboys was wrong, sadly. But then Lions and Bucks, as well as the Bills. We all got the Bills. But in my two picks where I strayed away from you guys in the NFC, I hit them both. So I ended up winning the week. But now we move on here. We got the divisional round starting here on Saturday, but this week, instead of doing going in chronological order, we're going to go AFC and then NFC. So first, we are though going to start with the first game of the week, give our picks here. First game, we have Texans at Ravens at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. The Ravens are currently 9-point favorites with an over-under set at 43.5. Matt, what are you liking in this one?
I like the Ravens. Got some rest this past week. They actually have rest the past 2 weeks because I believe they didn't play many starters against Pittsburgh in Week 18. And yeah, I just like the Ravens in this spot. I mean, I would love to see C.J. Stroud pull it out again. Like, if I'm rooting for a quarterback to win this game, it's C.J. Stroud. However, if I'm picking a team, it's going to be Baltimore with Mark Andrews being called back up. Not called up, but back to being practicing. I think he's definitely playing, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, I just like the Ravens here. I don't know what the spread is. I wouldn't touch it if it was any higher than 8. Oh, yeah, 9. I won't touch that for either side. But, yeah, I like the Baltimore Ravens in this spot at home.
Man, dude, I wanna back CJ Stroud so bad because he is obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best one in the playoffs as of the first game. I know we're not going to get a little bit over ahead of ourselves here. Nonetheless, though, I got the Ravens. I think that defense is elite. Kyle Hamilton is going to shut that shit down on the back end. I just think the Ravens are too loaded, especially with the addition of Mark Andrews coming back. Man, the Texans are fun to watch, though. They are fun to watch, and I'm really excited for this game. Honestly, I think it's one of the better ones on the slate. I said the same thing about the Texans and Browns game, and it was up there. It was one of the more interesting games, but I think that's just the Texans offense. I'm going to get the Ravens in this one. I think it's going to be high scoring nonetheless. I think both of these teams are capable of each putting up 30 points each. Derek, what was the spread on this game?
9 currently as we're recording.
9, yeah. What was the over-under?
43.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely take the over. I think 9 is a lot to give for the Texans. You know, that I think if I was betting on this game, which I will be, but give me Texans plus 9, and I'll take the over as well.
Well, last week, like I said, there's 2 games I strayed away from you guys. I went 2-0. Those games are also mainly vibes picks. Like you said, you got everything, all the points you guys made, those games made sense. these games also make sense. Those of you who've been listening for a while knew in March Madness, I started calling myself Owl Man. And Owl Man, maybe theoretically, helped FAU reach the Final Four. Well, I think Texan Man is going to help the Texans knock off the 1 seed Baltimore Ravens and reach the Final Four of the NFL. Did I pick Baltimore to win the Super Bowl last week? Yes, I did. Did I pick the Texans to lose last week? Yes, I did. I was wrong last week.
You've seen enough out of one game.
CJ Stroud cannot beat Michigan, but Ohio State fans rejoice. There's finally a good Ohio State NFL quarterback. I am going to drink the Kool-Aid. I am going to get ahead of myself. 274 last week, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, perfect quarterback rating. If he has another big game like that, why not? Why not knock him off? The Ravens, I'm going to be honest, just maybe this is, again, biased as a Steelers fan. I'm going to be very, very honest here. I just feel like they always, disappoint in the playoffs. Either
Lamar is 1-3, I believe.
Yeah, he has one playoff win. When they upset the Titans, not last year, but 2 years ago. But other than that, they don't win in the playoffs. Usually they're not healthy. If Andrews comes back, like you said, he was full participant in practice today, that maybe changes it a little bit. But I don't know if the Texans can force some turnovers like they did against Joe Flacco last week when Joe Flacco turned into a pumpkin. I'm gonna take the Texans in this one. I'm gonna be different. So
yeah, I mean, another side to back you up here is Lamar Jackson as a 7-point favorite or more is 1-9 in his career. So that's another big idea to keep effect on. It's a little scary there.
I heard this debate on ESPN 1000 this morning. As a little side note too, who do you guys think has more pressure to win this next playoff game, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? Can Josh Allen finally overcome his kryptonite, Patrick Mahomes, or will Lamar go on to win his second MVP but will move to 1-4 in the playoffs all time?
Go ahead, Derek, if you want to answer this.
Who do you think's got more pressure to win their game, Josh Allen or Lamar?
I personally go Josh Allen just because, like you mentioned last week, people have been all, ready to fade the Chiefs all year, kind of how they've been playing. The Bills, the Bills are hot right now. They went from a team that, did not look like they were going to make the playoffs after losing to Denver on that Monday night game.
10% chance.
Yeah.
As of week 14, they had a 10% chance to make the playoffs.
But, like I said in the preseason video, Buffalo's window's closing fast, and this honestly may be their best chance remaining. They have Kansas City at home. They've constructed their team to beat Kansas City. The weather might be crappy again. I would say Josh Allen, just because I think the pressure, there's just so much more pressure on. He has to win. He hasn't proven it yet. Neither, I'm saying, neither I don't really think has Lamar, but that's also a very tough division. The Ravens were Matt's long shot to win the Super Bowl. No one, not that there was no expectations on the Ravens, but there wasn't the same expectations for them that there was for Josh Allen and the Bills. So I'd go Josh Allen.
Yeah, you made great points there, especially about talking about how this Bills team was constructed to beat Kansas City. However, I think Kansas City has kind of always been Buffalo's kryptonite in some way or the other. You look at that one game where it came down to 13 seconds with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So I'm going to say this has more pressure for Lamar. I don't know. With Joe Burrow getting injured in that AFC North quite a bit the last few years, I feel like that window has quite opened as much as we've seen the Browns step up and the Steelers. Tomlin's always going to be 500 or above. I think that window is really wide open for them. And this MVP Lamar is not, in my opinion, the same MVP Lamar we saw 3 years ago. Those numbers blow these numbers out of the water. Josh Allen has almost 20 more total touchdowns than Lamar, I believe, which is just crazy to say. And yeah,
he's only had 2 games this year without a turnover, though.
Yeah, no, he's a turnover definitely. I think he finished with 18 this year, but I think I'd rather have a guy that's 42 and 18 than 25 and 11. But yeah, I'm just gonna say
Lamar doesn't turn the ball over, dude.
No, but he doesn't score as many points as Josh Allen does either. And I think that Ravens defense is much better than that Buffalo defense. I'm talking a country mile landslide. So I think the pressure's on Lamar here to win this game, especially against a rookie quarterback. You're not playing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You're playing a rookie team, rookie head coach, and a rookie quarterback. I kind of like to lean Lamar has more pressure on him in this spot.
Fair enough.
Good question, though. Good question.
That was a good question.
Yeah, they also said on ESPN 1000 that this is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game that
Yep.
wasn't a Super Bowl, which I think is very insane.
Oh yeah.
He's got 12 playoff wins, I believe, in 2 Super Bowls as was he in his 6th year, I think,
Six,
in the
yep.
NFL? He is in his 6th year and has more playoff wins than John Elway in his entire career. This is insane what Patrick Mahomes has been able to even do this year with the team that he's got around him. So I don't necessarily knock Josh Allen for not being able to beat him, but I do think I think there's more pressure on Lamar. I mean, winning 2 MVPs, or well, will win his second MVP, and then losing this game as well. I mean, I get the Ravens have always been injured, like Derek alluded to at the beginning of this show. Still, man, 2 MVPs and you can't, get to the AFC.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't
Even
get to the
to
AFC
there.
Championship game, bro. Like there's pressure on Lamar. Not that the Ravens org would ever move on from him.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no. For either
he's on
team,
track
either
to
team.
be,
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame. I mean, not many people have won 2 MVPs and not made the Hall of Fame. So he's on that track. But like, I mean, if you don't get it done this year, man, I give Josh Allen more leeway room simply because of the fact that he's the only the only team he's really lost to have been the Chiefs, right? In the big games. And it's Patrick Mahomes. Like you got to give him some sort of credit for that. But yeah, we can move on. I just want to throw that question out there.
Yeah. It's a good question. Good question.
I mean, it is a good question, and then we'll transition to that then. So who do you think will win that game? Do you think Josh Allen's going to win that game? He's a 3-point favorite at home. 45.5 is the total. The game's at 6:30 Eastern on Sunday on CBS. Who do you like in that game, JJ?
I mean, all signs point towards the Bills winning in terms of overall roster talent, but I am not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, to be brutally honest with you. I think when you have that great of a quarterback at your team, it kind of masks the weaknesses in the rest of your team. I mean, as long as Travis Kelce stops thinking about Taylor Swift all game and like returns to I know he's old, but like, bro, come on. Travis Kelce has been significantly worse this year than people would like to admit. And he needs to step up. Like he really does. But I'm not betting against Mahomes. I got the Chiefs. It's gonna be a banger of a game, dude. I will be posted in front of the TV all day for it. Yeah, I'm not betting against Mahomes just yet. I need to see him lose before you can bet against him, honestly.
Yeah.
So I got the Chiefs.
I mean, yeah, you definitely are on the right side there, I think, with terms of you're picking the better quarterback and you're just kind of picking the more veteran-led team here. But I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. Like you mentioned earlier, JJ, I think this is their window. Like their window is closing. And now they know they have a home game. They have the fans behind them in this spot. Not that Kansas City doesn't travel well, because I believe they do. But this is a spot where you get Mahomes. He's on the road for his first playoff game before the Super Bowl. And I think it's a spot where the Bills just kind of need to put their foot down, and they got to keep the gas pedal all 4 quarters. There's no letting up. Like you can see, like you mentioned with Mahomes being as great as he is, they can score 2 touchdowns in sub 2 minutes if you give them the time and the timeout. So I think the Bills need to keep that cleat on the neck, and I think Buffalo can get it done. I really do. I think it will be a close game. I think it will be a banger of a game, but I like Buffalo in this spot.
The Chiefs got a nasty defense, though, man.
They do, man. That Nick Bolton, he's
Karlaftis, Chris Jones, like
dog.
L'Jarius Sneed's having an All-Pro year, like Trent McDuffie. I've been a long-time supporter of out of Washington. He's a great cornerback. I like that Chiefs defense a lot, man. They do it well.
Yep, Derek.
See, I agree. I agree with you, Matt, that like this definitely, it's the spot for Buffalo. Like if they're going to beat Kansas City, this is the time they have to do it. Like I was saying, how JJ said last week, everyone's been, kind of waiting to write Kansas City off all year. But like I said, I agree with JJ this week. Like until Mahomes beats someone, until Mahomes is beaten, I'm not going to bet against him. They looked so dominant last week against Miami. Granted, Miami hasn't really looked great against any good team this year. And Buffalo, I mean, Mason Rudolph gave the Bills a game last week. Like, the Bills were running away with that game.
Dude.
That game was over, and they didn't put them away. And against Mason Rudolph, you can do that, and like it's fine, figure it out at the end there. Because like I said, the offense too just kind of went stagnant. That's what let the Steelers back in the game. Can't do that against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. With like you said, Travis Kelce's there paying attention. Not worried about his girl up in the box. Then he should be fine. Should have a good game. If their receivers can hold on to the ball.
He had a lot of drops in that game.
That's a lot
of drops in that Miami game.
So that's what I'm saying. They do.
That's why I wanted to change my Super Bowl pick. We were talking about before we hopped on. Well, I mean, I didn't have the. Well, yeah, I did. I did have the Bills.
You did have the Bills.
Yep.
Yeah, and that, yeah. I would like that. This confirms my Super Bowl changing pick because I think the Chiefs win. So, for all the viewers that are keeping track with our last week's podcast, just let it be known JJ's changing his AFC Championship game.
Yep, perfect. Because Matt can change his NFC. I'm not a fan of the Rams.
Well, yeah, when they're eliminated, that would make sense. You're not a fan. That's okay. I went against them too.
Bro, Puka went
so I'm gonna change it. We're all just changing.
All change. So yeah, so I'm going here. I'm thinking both the road dogs win this weekend. Give me Kansas City now going to be back at home for Pat Mahomes hosting Texans in the AFC title game. Matt is going with Buffalo, Matt's going with Buffalo and Baltimore in Baltimore, and then JJ will have the Chiefs playing on the road again in Baltimore next week. Now let's move on to the NFC. The Green Bay Packers, who upset the Dallas Cowboys last week, heading to the number 1 seed San Francisco at 8:15 Eastern on Fox Saturday night. The Niners are currently 9-point favorites with an over-under of 50.5. First, we're going to send it to our Packers correspondent live from Lambeau Field, Tim Navarro. All right, so I'm joined here by our podcast Packers correspondent, Tim Navarro here. And Tim, your Green Bay Packers are advancing on to the divisional round after a 48-32 win over the Dallas Cowboys last week. What are some of your biggest takeaways from that game?
Biggest takeaway is Cowboys just weren't prepared, I mean, they left those wide receivers open so much. I think I saw a stat the other day, the average amount of separation was 5.4 yards on each catch. That's just an insane stat. You can't even do anything about that. I mean, there's too many superstars, potential superstars actually. I think change is gonna happen, but apparently Jerry don't agree with me. So
you personally would move on from former Packers coach Mike McCarthy if you were the Cowboys?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got Bill Belichick. I would hire him. That's a great hire. Plus, I would stay away from Dan Quinn. He seems not good there. I mean, if you're gonna keep McCarthy, I'd get rid of Quinn though.
Gotcha.
But I feel right now we focusing too much on what went wrong in Dallas. Got to focus too much on the Packers. You know?
So what went wrong? What went right for the Packers? I mean, Jordan Love's been playing really well down the stretch here. What are your thoughts on him?
He's MVP next year. That's it. Calling it now. He's gonna be MVP next year. There's no way he's not 21-1 in the last 9 games. That's Aaron Rodgers ratio right there, But yeah, I mean you're gonna get second, third year more rookies coming into the offense. I mean it's just truly a Matt LaFleur offense, and we're gonna be really good next year.
There you go. Well, instead of focusing on next year, let's focus on your next game. So you guys now head to San Francisco Saturday night. 49ers historically seem to always beat the Packers in the playoffs. Do you think this time Packers can change their fortunes, or is it going to be more of the same? What's your pick for the game this weekend?
Well, I've been mulling this question over all day now. Really tough one. I was going back and forth. I thought, 49ers had the Packers number for a long time, but I mean, I was proven wrong. I realized last 4 meetings, they're 2-2. Too many people are focusing on those last 2 playoff matches. So, I think it's going to be a close one, but ultimately, sadly, I do have the 49ers winning.
Going against your team.
Yeah.
But, all right. I appreciate your honesty. So.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a different one. This the first year we're gonna see a true Matt LaFleur offense against a true Kyle Shanahan offense. No more Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, man. Oh, it kills me. It kills me. But I think it's gonna be a close one. I think for like as good as Jordan Love's gonna be, that defense is gonna be real tough.
Gotcha. Well, since you don't think it's going to be the Packers, and all my other co-hosts on the podcast have given their Super Bowl prediction last week, what is then your prediction? You think the Niners go on and win it all, or who are we thinking here?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a Niners Ravens Super Bowl. I know AFC North over there is it's gonna be tough for you to see the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
But that was my pick that I had on last week's show, so
yeah,
I would have to agree with you.
I think the Ravens are gonna win.
Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate you for joining us. If the Packers are able to pull it off and prove you wrong, we'll have to have you on next week.
Yeah, I bet.
Thanks for your pick, Tim. All right, Matt, what do you like in this game?
Oh, it's time to be bold, right? I went 1 of 5 on Wild Card Weekend.
You did.
Give me the Green Bay Packers. At what point is Jordan Love going to get his respect? Last 9 games, 22 touchdowns to 1 interception with a bunch of nobodies on the outside. Matt LaFleur has that team riled up right now. Jordan Love is literally just a couple days away from literally marching into San Fran and doing what his predecessor could never do. Could never do. And that's beat the San Francisco 49ers. You talk about a storyline for the ages. Rodgers couldn't get past them. But Jordan Love does? Yeah. Give me the Green Bay Packers to win this game. I don't have much other than that outside of it's a gut pick. And someone's got to be bold on the pod. So I'm going to take Green Bay. Especially that +9. That is free.
It's okay to be wrong, bro. It's cool. I'm going to keep it short and simple as possible. The Packers just can't beat the 49ers, and they will not beat the 49ers.
What a pick.
I don't care how boring it is, bro. Like, the 49ers are a juggernaut, bro. I am not betting against them either. I don't care how hot the Packers are. Their run's over in Santa Clara. Don't care. Niners are way too loaded. I am worried about their run defense, though. I could definitely see Aaron Jones going crazy again because that's when the Packers are at their best. So I might be sprinkling a little bit on some Aaron Jones props. But that offense is just too lethal, man, with Hall of Fame level system quarterback Brock Purdy at the helm. I don't think they could lose. You can throw Matt back at the quarterback position on that team, and they could probably still win a couple games.
That's like gas, and then you're also like pooping on me at the same time. So I'll take it.
You were just the first person I'm looking at. It was more of a metaphor for anybody can run that 49ers offense. Yeah, the Packers ain't stopping that, especially if Jair Alexander doesn't play. I know he got banged up in that Cowboys game. I honestly haven't checked the reports yet. I don't really know, but Niners ain't losing, dog.
Let me see what I can find here real quick. I'm going to agree with JJ. However, I think this game's the NFC Championship game, like the de facto NFC Championship game. I think whoever wins this game is going to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl, as I predicted San Francisco last week as my Super Bowl team. Jair Alexander's listed as questionable. But the Packers are hot. They're one of the hottest teams in football right now. Jordan Love is playing very well. Definitely do have to give him his flowers. And, I mean, he just went into Dallas and kind of picked apart that defense last week. So, I mean, he could do it again. But, kind of like Matt has said, San Francisco just always beats the Packers. Granted, Green Bay can now get revenge for what San Francisco did a couple years ago when Green Bay was the 1 seed and San Fran went into Lambeau and beat them. But I just can't really, think of a time ever. I feel like every time I see a Packers-Niners playoff game, the Niners win, if not blow them out of the building. So, yeah. It's just, like I said, it's kind of like Mahomes. I'll pick against Mahomes when I see him lose. And, I mean, to be fair, kind of the Cowboys, well, I saw a stat. Packers have as many playoff wins at AT&T Stadium as the Cowboys because they've beaten the Cowboys twice and then won the Super Bowl there.
That's so gross.
So it's kind of like the Cowboys always beat the Packers, or the Packers always beat the Cowboys, the Niners always beat the Packers. So I'm not going to go against it. But like I said, I think if Green Bay does pull it out, I think they're going to win the ship because they've already won in Detroit on Thanksgiving. That's kind of what started turning their season around.
That was the game, bro. That was the game that their whole season turned around.
That was Thanksgiving Day, right?
Yep.
Thanksgiving, yep. And the first play of that game was a 75-yard bomb from Jordan Love. I agree with you, Derek. One thing remains true. The Niners beat the Packers for as long as I can remember, at least.
So, yeah, then moving on there to Detroit. The two upstart teams, the Vibes picks I had last week that both won. Detroit squeaking by their old quarterback Matthew Stafford, and the Rams get their first playoff win in over 30 years. And they now get to host another playoff game, taking on the Buccaneers led by Baker Mayfield, who now has more wins than the Browns do in the playoffs in the past, I think it was like 30 years or something. Granted, Mayfield did lead the Browns to that one win, but now has one in Tampa Bay as well, knocking off the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles. Do you guys have anything on the Eagles there, just like the epic collapse on there? You guys got any comments on that?
They were just flat towards the end of the season. I mean, at one point in middle October, they were 10-1 to start the season, I believe. Lost 5 of the last 6 games. Only team to ever have 10 wins through, I think, a certain threshold of the season, and never not finish with 12 or more. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm calling for a lot of people to get out of there. Starting with Sirianni. I think he's a big problem in that, within that team. And then A.J. Brown, too. I mean, not calling to get rid of him. He's still a top 10 probably receiver in the NFL easily, but man, is that kid a head case. Just crying, and he's a diva. What can you say? And, I mean, you got a quarterback that they have practicing dives so he doesn't fumble 2-3 weeks back. It just seems like a team that really had the name value, had the player value to go and win another Super Bowl or at least get back there, and it kind of was just a collapse from inside out. So, yeah, that's kind of all I got. But, wow, the Bucs worked that Eagles team on Monday night for sure. That game wasn't even close.
The only thing I feel bad about is Jason Kelce going out sad like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care for the Eagles any way or the other. In fact, I kind of like to see them lose because their fans are dickheads, for lack of a better word. So I mean, I'm all for it. Like, I'm all for the Eagles losing, but I think it was the proof was in the pudding. Like, well before this playoff game, I don't know what I was thinking picking the Eagles. I mean, they've sucked for the last 10 weeks of the season, damn near. Or whatever. Whenever they start losing games, bro, they look terrible. And there are internal problems, like Matthew said. It's more than just Jalen Hurts. I mean, that defense was atrocious.
Oh, yeah. That's led by Patricia, right? That's led by Matt Patricia, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
James Bradbury, you better learn Chinese, buddy, because I've seen high schoolers tackle better than you. Their defense was just depleted, man. It was not good. It was an awful showing for them. And to go out sad like that versus what I thought was the most weak playoff team I've seen in a while, besides the Steelers, for like every year they've made the playoffs in the past 6 years. Like the Buccaneers aren't good either. Like the Eagles were that bad apparently. You know, I mean, Baker was throwing to fucking Devin Tompkins. Like, who? You ever seen that meme? Who? Like, literally, bro. Tyler Mooney, like, bro was throwing to nobodies. Wasn't even Mike Evans. Like, that Eagles team is horrible. But they were like that the last back half of the season. So, I mean, the proof is all there. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, that's all I have on that game right now.
Gotcha. What do you have on this game this week? Like I said, Lions are 6.5-point favorites, over under of 48.5. The game is played indoors, unlike unbeknownst to known to one Tampa Bay reporter who asked Todd Bowles how they're going to deal with the cold weather this week. But this game is indoors.
I saw that.
So what do you think, JJ?
I got the Lions, man. Like I was just saying, I don't think the Bucs are that good. They had their win versus the Eagles, which was inflated by the fact that the Eagles are dog shit. The Lions, I mean, I don't think they're that. That's why I agree with your pick. What you said earlier, like 5 minutes ago, the winner of the Niners-Packers game will be winning the NFC. Either way, that's my take on it. I got the Lions just because they're more talented. It is cool to see that their fans start crying in the stands after winning a playoff game. And I like a lot of the players on the Lions. But, yeah, obviously I think they beat the Buccaneers. I'll lay the points on the spread. What'd you say it was?
6.5.
6.5. I'll take the touchdown on the Lions. I like that. I don't think they lose at Ford Field to a in, far inferior team than them. But whoever comes out of this game, if like this, the Lions, like I think it will, I think they lose to either the Packers or the Niners the week after. But yeah, give me Lions for this game.
Derek, let's send it to you. I'll wrap it up at the end. Let's send it to you. What do you think?
Let's get the host involved.
I'm gonna go Lions as well. I picked them last week. I still have confidence in them. I think they have really good offense. Like I've been saying, their defense does keep teams in games, so that's what scares me a little bit. Like I might take the Buccaneers plus the money, but I think the Lions still win outright. Just so many weapons. Like Sam Laporta had a good game last week. Jameer Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson causing some problems on the defensive end at least, so he had a good game. I love, like I said, for being a Steelers fan, it's weird that I like Baker Mayfield and I like his story, but I think this is the end of it. So.
How are you a Baker fan as an Ohio State?
I just like his swagger, just the swagger he plays with, and I mean they kind of wrote him off in Cleveland.
State fan, you should be disgraced.
He's the new Geno Smith.
Yeah, and he wrote back.
He wrote back. Watch Baker Mayfield and support his success.
I wouldn't call myself like a fan, but like I like him. Like I said, I don't know. I just think it's funny because like I mentioned, Cleveland, like that team was horrible. They won one game in 2 years. They bring in Baker Mayfield. He takes them to almost 500. He wins them a playoff game, which they hadn't done in forever.
Oh, he beat the shitty Steelers.
That team was not shit. That team was not shit. That team was 11-0.
That was like 80-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. If I'm remembering correctly.
Nah, that was Mike Tomlin being a pussy when they came back. Sorry, excuse my language, but when they were coming back, he punted the ball and ended the game. So that's what cost the Steelers there, and they just didn't come.
He was also 90-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, bro. Like
that wasn't even the worst. Did you see him like 2 years ago against the Chiefs? Like that, Big Ben that season was nothing compared to 2 years ago.
True. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Either way, I hate Baker Mayfield so much. Ever since he planted that flag.
That was ridiculous. No, I do. Trust me. I don't I don't like him, but I find it funny that he's successful and the Browns aren't again. So I do like that.
And the fact that the Browns are stuck with like the worst contract in American sports right now, besides Anthony Rendon. Yeah, for the Angels, that contract's bad. But besides that Deshaun Watson brought $245 million, most of it guaranteed, for a rapist, dude. Like, bro, they knew that and still, bro. How about the Texans? Holy fleece, bro. They turned that into Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell, got rid of Deshaun Watson, and got someone that was better than he's ever been.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have 26 assault charges on his record either. So that's also a plus.
As a plus.
For the fan base. You don't have to root for a weirdo.
Matt, what's your pick on the Lions Buccaneers?
All right, well, thanks, guys. This is why I get invited to these podcasts, because I'm not going to be the one that's just shooting the straight A's. I'm not going to just pick the Niners to win, and I'm not just going to pick... Actually, this is going to be a good game. Give me the Buccaneers. I don't want to all be on the same side for the NFC. I got to be different. Someone's got to be different. Otherwise, no one's watching the pod.
You're risking your reputation, though.
I am. I don't want to pick the same as you guys. Give me the Buccaneers. Yeah, I don't know. This Lions team, I think the Bucs match up really well. I mean, I think I mentioned it last week about McVay being a better coach than MCDC over there in Detroit, and I still do believe that. However, I think when it comes down to coaching, MCDC is that locker room guy, and I think it's going to come to burn him at some point here in the playoffs, whether it's this week, whether they win and go on to the NFC Championship. One of these weeks where he's going to get exposed for not maybe being the best X and O guy. And for that reason, I like Todd Bowles. I mean, that guy's got that defense flying right now. Vita Vea, I don't think anybody can block him right now. That boy is just too big. And if you can stop this Lions running game, make them throw the ball 30, 40 times down the field, I think this Bucs defense has a really good shot to cause a couple turnovers or some ruckus there on the defensive side of the ball. So, and I mean, like Derek mentioned, Baker is balling right now. He is in his bag with the Zinnachinos in his pocket, with the pregame, the smelling salts. He is locked in this game, and I really like the Bucs to come out and win this game in Detroit. I mean, it's the second home playoff game for Detroit in how many years? I don't know.
Like I said,
so that
like
stadium is going to be
91 or
loud.
92.
Yeah, that stadium is going to be loud, but I want to be different here and go the Bucs. I mean, Mike Evans, Mr. 1,000, people just don't respect that guy enough. I still think he is a top 8 receiver in the NFL, and I will die on that hill, but that team really can make some noise. However, I will agree with JJ, no matter who wins this game, does lose in the NFC Championship, but things could change. But I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in this spot. I like them too much. I like Bulls too much. And Baker, that story is just too perfect right now. So I'm predicting a Bucks Packers NFC Championship. If you would have told me that when I saw the playoff bracket get announced, I would have probably thrown up all over it 2 times. But we're here. It is what it is. Someone's got to be bold and risky, and that's going to be me today.
Well, like you said, JJ, Matt's reputation is on the line, but there's not really much farther worse.
I'm 1-5.
Yeah, 1-5.
How worse can I get?
So
Might as
you
well
also
take
were
some
the
risks.
one. Granted, neither of my teams played last week, and only one of JJ's played. But you are the one that lost your NFC champion in the Rams already, and like you just said, so you have Buccaneers Packers. Who do you think wins the NFC, and are you going to stick with Buffalo as your AFC team?
I'm sticking with Buffalo as my AFC team. NFC, I'd like to see the Bucs get there. I don't think they overcome the Packers, though. But yet again, I'm high on the Packers because I kind of want to be risky. So I can't really double fade my pick right here and say the Niners. That makes no sense. So give me the Buccaneers against the Bills, and the Bills beat them 55-7. Yep, that's my prediction.
You did just say, though, however, you thought that the winner of the Packers-Niners game was going to win the NFC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did say Bucks, right?
Yeah.
To make it, I meant the Packers. I meant the Packers to make it, but the Bills win 55-7. That game would be gross.
The Packers. Right. His picks are so far out there. He's confusing himself. JJ, you gonna stick with Buffalo and San Fran?
No, I'm changing my AFC champion. I think I.
You picked Buffalo to lose, so.
Yeah, I'm going with KC until they lose, bro. If I'm gonna lose my pick, it's gonna be on the back of one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm gonna change my Bills pick to the Chiefs. I think they could topple the Ravens as well if they do make it past the Bills. I'm still sticking with the 49ers though. We get a rematch of the Super Bowl. Was that 3 years ago when Jimmy G faced off?
4.
Yeah, when 4 years ago when Jimmy G faced off against Mahomes for his first, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm not going to release my Super Bowl pick just yet on who wins that game.
You did last week, boss.
I know, but I'm still thinking.
He's rethinking.
I got the Packers in the Super Bowl, bro. Just throw something out there because that ain't.
All right, fair enough.
You gonna stick with the Bills or after? Well, do you see it not enough from them last week that you think now San Fran knocks them off?
Well, no, I'm taking the Chiefs over the.
I'm sorry. I keep too many changes here. I can't keep track of them all.
All I'm doing is changing my AFC pick from the Bills to the Chiefs.
And you think the Chiefs win?
So Chiefs, I'm keeping the Niners in the NFC. For gits and shiggles, give me the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm not betting against Mahomes till he loses. There you go. Shout out Biddle. Chiefs over Niners. Score will be 27-14.
There you go.
Chiefs.
Well, since Texans man here picked his Super Bowl champion, the Ravens, to lose this week, I have to switch it up. And no rookie quarterback has ever made the Super Bowl, so I don't think C.J. Stroud will make it to the Super Bowl. I think, like the FAU Owls, they lose in the Final Four, don't make the championship. And I'm going the Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs, Niners, rematch, just like JJ, but I'm going with the Niners. I think now they have Brock Purdy, who's better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and Christian McCaffrey, so I think they pull it out this time.
Yep. Super Bowl MVP, system quarterback Brock Purdy.
System quarterback. No. If the Bucks win or if the Niners win the Super Bowl, MVP is CMC.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
He's also the Opoi, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would agree. Also, sorry for that reaction during your pick. I had just hit a live over in the Houston Texas Tech game as we were recording.
Let's go, baby. Hey, the viewers heard it here first. Our podcast host knows ball.
So I'm getting my bread up. All three of us are dropping our picks to help you guys get your bread up. So thank you to everyone for watching again.
Tail
this
responsibly, especially on the Packers and the Packers and the Bucks. Tail responsibly on both of those picks.
Don't
Thank
put
you very
your
much.
entire mortgage on Matt's picks.
I will once again remind you guys, I was 4-2 last week. JJ was 3-3. Matt was 1-5. Take that with what you will on who you want to fade and who you want to tail this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys got any last words?
I can't believe I just picked the Packers to make the NFC Championship. So, cheers, everybody out there. Cheers. Whether you have a water in your hand, cheers, gentlemen. Golly.
All righty. Well,
that's all I got, though.
Up.
Just drop a like.
No last
make sure
words
to subscribe.
For podcast host 1 of 3.
Hit the bell. Hit the bell. Turn the noties on. Noti gang, where you at?
Drop
come
the
on.
Twitch Prime subs
to Twitch.
I have been streaming again.
Everyone blow up Duroc on Twitter too. Let him know that he needs to actually let his followers know when he's streaming. Go blow up the poll. Drop a like. Drop a comment. Kiss Duroc goodnight. Whatever you got to do. Get it done, viewers.
All right. We will see you guys next time. Peace.